Hi everyone, welcome back to Get Ready with me, Louise. Today we're going to be recreating this eye look on this side using the new ABH palette, the Rose Metals. And this is what it looks like. I like the packaging. It's sleek, it's pretty. I do enjoy the packaging. And then it's got a nice mirror on one side, and then this is the color story. I'm trying to get it to where like it's best to fit the color from what I see. Maybe. There we go. It's more like that. Right there is the color story. It's a very pretty color story. It's like a grungy glam palette is the best way I can describe this. It's not what I thought it was going to be. Let's put it like that. But that doesn't mean that it's not good. Let me say that right now. Let's go ahead and get started. The first shade we're going to go into is Ashes. There's kick up on them, because they're soft powders, but, that is what it is. Their palettes are always like that. But the shadows blend so nicely, and you can see how pigmented it is. I will say that when I look at that shadow, well, it does kind of look like that. I honestly expected it to be a really like soft gray, I guess, is what I thought, but I should have known better. ABH has pigment. It is what it is. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's nice. I'm going to sort of tap that off just a tad. And I'm just going to run that as my like transition shade, crease, whatever you want to call it. I truly didn't know where I was going with this palette. I'm going to be honest. It's not quite the color story I would go for, to be honest with you too. And here's the thing, I'm just a consumer of makeup, and I get sort of like caught up in the hype of stuff, you know what I mean? I mean, as we all do in certain areas in our lives. This is just one I get caught up on. But I love ABH shadows. I do. I have a good many of their palettes. Not all, because I got into the makeup game late. But I do like their shadows, and I like their color stories for the most part. And for the most part, I can get them to work, create something I really enjoy, right? And though I do enjoy this palette, I don't usually go for a grungy look, and I think that's where it gets me. It's sort of like with Melt Cosmetics, how their colors are always so dark and grungy, and I don't think it suits me, to be honest with you. And yet I buy it. And speaking of Melt, I bought all 4 of their new palettes, so be expecting a review. Yes, I did. Why? I don't know. You would have thought on the last one I would have stopped, because they are beautiful shadows, and the color stories are just so pretty. It's just, they're so grungy and so hit or miss also on the shadows that I don't know what I was thinking. I'm hoping that these aren't as grungy as usual, but I got a feeling they are, and that's fine because that does suit a certain group of people. I'm going to go into the color Dune now. And, not everything's going to be suited towards me, and that's perfectly fine. You know what I mean? Like, I'm okay with that. But I should have known better, and I shouldn't have really purchased it, but they just look so pretty. And it had to do with the Zodiac, and, well, that always gets me. Anything with the Zodiac gets me, so. But, yeah, so I did get those, and I'm excited to play with those. But those are more on the colorful side in a sense, too. But back to this palette, I mean, look at these shadows. They pretty much do all the work for you. I mean, granted, I am using my rougher brushes, so that does help me out a lot, but still, yeah, like, it's doing the work for me. Just making sure I getting it all in there. I'm going to take that same shadow Dune and go across the lower lash line with it. I don't know, there's just something about ABH that gets me all the time. You know what I mean? It's just one of those brands. And I'm glad they've come back out with these palettes here too. And I really love the Nouveau palette. I do like that one a lot. And I may have jumped on board with that one and just assumed this one, you know, I'm going to like. And I do. Like, the formula is wonderful. I mean, if this color story works for you, the formula is A+. Like, it is really good formula. No doubt there. You like, that's not going to be disappointing by no means. But the color story for me isn't quite what I guess I thought. You know what I mean? So I'm going to go into the shade Element. And we're going to put that on the lid. And again, I think I chose the wrong colors in a sense, because I made it dark, and you don't have to. That's the other problem with it. And in all honesty, I just couldn't see what colors to pair. I'm not gonna lie. But I'm a beginner, so you know that's kind of that could be expected, you know. And I may just need more time to play with it to figure out the color story. But I will say, look at that shadow. I did not wet that at all, and no fallout. So I mean, that's a beautiful shadow. And this here looks pretty as it is, but I was like, it's a little too dark for me. You know what I mean? So then I went into the shade Haze, and these shades just pick up beautifully. And I started to pat that on the inner portion, just to sort of lighten this up a little bit, is what I thought I was doing. And it does lighten it up a little bit. So I'm not going to say it don't, because it does. Because I just like, me personally, I like brighter looks. Like, I don't care how deep it goes out here, but on the lid itself, I like bright and, you know, light looks in a sense. And I started thinking, I bet if you paired this with the Nouveau palette, it would be really pretty too. Not that you should have to do that, but in, you know, for what I like, I bet if I paired the two, it would be beautiful. So I laid that down right there like that on this. And I didn't take it all the way over because I still wanted, you know, the darkness on the end. And I'm just going to make sure that it's still there. Yeah. Alright. Like that. And then for the inner corner, I decided, like, there's really nothing that light in this palette, but I went into Heavenly and I just barely put any on it, and it worked for my inner corner. So that was really nice for me. And I put that in the inner corner like that. And then I went ahead and, you know how I do. I can't help myself. I took it up a little bit into my crease to give like a star, you know, burst effect. I don't know. It's just, I think it looks so pretty doing that. I don't know why, but I do. At least in person. I don't know what it looks like on camera. There we go. Those cats are getting into stuff, I swear. I didn't realize, like, I always wanted a cat, and we got a cat. I've always liked having a cat around, you know what I mean? But then we got 2 cats. I got suckered into 2. Fine, you know? I felt like 2 was kind of a little too much. But it was fine, like I could live with it. But when we got the third cat, no, that's too much now. Like all three of those cats, they can eat you out of house and home, and they poo and pee. I mean, they do in the litter box at least, but all the time. Like, I have to clean their litter twice a day sometimes. It's just crazy. And they got 2 litter boxes. It's crazy. I'm thinking about getting a third one. Okay, so now that we've done that, okay, so now we're going to try the new Tartelette tubing mascara. I got a little sample of it, and I thought I'd try it. And I think that it's flaking. But we're going to find out here. I've been wearing the other side, like always, for a while. You know how I go. And I just saw black, and I don't think it's from my bottom lash line, because that's my MAC. I do think this is pretty, though. It does lengthen for sure. And honestly, I didn't think tubing mascara was supposed to flake. Am I wrong about that, or is that true? Because I feel like this is flaking. But it makes my lashes look very long. It doesn't give much volume, but length it gives. And I may have just put too much on that side. Uh-oh. Alright, there we go. Looks okay. I do like the wand. Alright. Well, I mean, yeah, it's not bad. I'll just go with that. It's not bad. I don't think I'd buy the full size of this. I think I do like the Surfer. What is that one called again? Yeah, Surfer Curl. Better than that one, to be honest. But I'll have to play with it a couple more times. I just got it today, so when I got my melt package. Okay. Alright, I got both sides the same. I think they look pretty good. No complaints, you know what I mean? So all in all, I think the formula is really good. Like, really good. I mean, the mattes blend themselves out. Of course, they're, powdery because they're, soft and all. But they do all the work for you. I think that these shades here are like butter. I mean, it just moves right on. Like, no problem at all. Like, well, I mean, you just saw how easy it was to put those on. So there's no flake or no. What is the word I'm looking for? It doesn't fall. No fallout. There you go. No fallout out of them. And it's just like butter. I mean, it's truly a really, really pretty palette. But you have to like more of a grungy look. I will say that. And if you do, then you're going to love this palette. But if you don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know then. I do think it is very pretty. I do not think, though, that I will go into it often. Even though I love the shadows, I just don't. I'm going to play with it a couple more times, obviously, before I, really say, yeah, this ain't a palette I'm going to go into or not. But, I mean, I really do like the look that it gave me, though. I may hold off on saying I wouldn't go into this because this look here is kind of pretty in its own way, especially if I was going for like a sultry look, even, or you know what I mean, like a more of a grungy sultry look, I guess is the word I'm looking for. So let me hold off on saying that before I say I wouldn't go into this palette again. Like choosing it wise, obviously I'm going to go into it because I have to play with it some more to get my feel on it as a beginner. But I mean, first off, like it's nice. It's easy to use, beginner friendly, no issues. I think the formula itself is wonderful. It's just, is this your shade selection? That's all it boils down to, really. So that is all I have for you today. I hope this video helped in some way. If it did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, ring the bell, hit all. That way you're notified when I do upload. I upload every day but Sunday. Although I think you're going to be getting videos on Sunday because I've got to review all 4 of these palettes here. All the mattes, or the melt palettes. So, and I will say when we get to these, there's something to be said. Well, there's something to be said because I just checked on Sephora to see how much I paid for them. And it's not a bad price, but they're already sold out. So I think that says something in a way. But I still have the ColourPop Hocus Pocus to do too, by the way. So I don't know where I'm fitting all these in. And I can't do 2 videos a day. So what do I do? I don't know. Interesting. Alright, that's all I have for you. I'll see you in the next one. And until then, stay safe and stay healthy. Bye.